Hello everyone, Tim Game here, and today I have the pleasure of bringing you some very nice post-patch LMG gameplay. Now, as you guys know, this week there's been a pretty major Call of Duty Black Ops 2 patch released, and one of the major changes in the patch was that every single LMG in the game benefited from quite a substantial boost to its ADS time, so you can aim in faster and you can aim out faster, so that makes the LMGs a lot more versatile, and therefore I wanted to give one a try. And the weapon I've settled on is the LSAT, as you can see here on the map Overflow, and I've set this one up with quick draw handle and a red dot sight. Now, Overflow is the perfect map for LMGs because, as you can see here, I'm currently in B window, which is the call out for this room, and most of the gunfights you run into, like that one there, or if you face right and look at construction, they're all going to be medium to long range, medium range at the very least. So whilst you can get away with using an assault rifle, assault rifles' primary function is medium range. They are great at that, but there's very few assault rifles that can match an LMG at long range. And when you do run into a long range gunfight, I would much rather have an LSAT on this map than even weapons like the SMR or the FAL, because you can just see here, those guys got completely trashed. This weapon has virtually no recoil, it has a great rate of fire, it's still high damage enough because most LMGs are pretty high damage, and enemies just get dropped. And so if you haven't had any real luck with the LMGs, or you're struggling to use them, or you can't really adapt your playstyle to them, this is the map I'd recommend you try them on first, because the LMGs are definitely the best weapon for this map. And you don't often see that too much because, like I've been saying in previous videos, LMGs are very much a niche weapon. You tend to see very few people use them. When they do use them, people often use them incorrectly, and people just always default to their basic assault rifle class whenever they want a slightly longer range weapon. But the great news with the patches, because the LMGs have gained a big boost coming in and going out of ADS, they've become a lot more versatile. So now is an ideal time to try the LMGs out if you haven't before. And that's a horrible spawn death there, but what are you going to do? But what I would recommend, if you are going to use the LSAT, I would potentially drop the red dot sight, because this was a gameplay where I've been using the LSAT for a couple of games. I've been trialing it with different attachments to see how it felt post-patch, and I really do like the red dot sight. And if you can't cope with the iron sights, run it, because it's a great attachment. But what I found with using the LSAT in games after this, I can get away with the iron sights. You know, the iron sights are pretty good. I suffered no real loss of accuracy, and you know, the red dot's a bit of a waste of attachment in this case. So what I would like to do instead, if I'm using the LSAT from now on, is potentially use it with the laser sight and the quick draw handle, because LMGs are notorious for having pretty horrific hip fire, but because the LSAT has that high rate of fire, when you turn the corner and bump into someone with a laser sight, you have a little bit more of a chance of killing the guy. And if you guys ever watch Xbox Ahoy, who does these absolutely fantastic weapon analysis videos, and he's continued them on for Black Ops 2, you know, if you haven't checked him out, go search Xbox Ahoy, all one word, in YouTube. He's an absolutely brilliant Call of Duty commentator, and he does fantastic weapon videos, and he did one on the laser sight attachment. And I actually found out for the first time that LMGs are the class of weapon that benefits most from running laser sight. So if you want to use a laser sight on an LMG, go for it, because especially when you're crouched or prone, LMGs gain massive boosts to their hip fire and they're just their general ADSing and shooting. So the laser sight quick draw handle is a great combo, because LMGs have great long range capabilities anyway. So what you want to do is you want to compensate for their weaknesses, and the ADS time isn't great. You know, assault rifles, SMGs, they have the best ADS time, so by running a quick draw handle you make them much more competitive at medium range, which is traditionally the role of the assault rifle. So now LMGs are competing with assault rifles, and by running the laser sight you make them much more competitive at close range, which is obviously the domain of the SMGs and the shotguns. So you've taken your LMG, your LSAT, which is already a great long range weapon, and by running the quick draw handle you turn it into a great medium range weapon, and by running the laser sight you turn it into a passable close range weapon. I mean, it's going to be nowhere near as good as a PDW at close range, but by running the laser sight you give yourself a chance, and the vast majority of time you don't have a chance when you run an LMG without a laser sight at close range. You turn the corner, you hit fire, and you're in the lap of the gods. Sometimes you kill them, most of the time you don't. So that is a great class setup. What I've also done with this is run toughness, because toughness is a key perk for LMGs. LMGs rely on their ability to reach out and kill people at long range, especially at a map like Overflow here. Because the vast majority of gunfights you're going to be running into, especially if you use the LMGs correctly, are going to be long range. And the last thing you want to do is flinch off target, because even if a guy's just using a pretty average short-range assault rifle, if he gets 1 or 2 bullets on you without toughness, your aim's gone and your advantage is lost, basically. So running toughness on LMGs is another key choice. And this is a great route as well from this side. Just quickly going off topic, the key area of this map, especially in domination, is B room, which is the room just up the stairs on the left. It is basically impossible to capture B dom if there's an enemy in B room, because they can just nade it, they can C4 it, they don't even have to come to the window to kill you some of the time. So the key battle zone is this back alley here, and then construction. If you can control both those areas of the map, and the LMGs are great at doing that, you're going to win the game very, very easily, as we do here. But let's get back on topic. So toughness, another great choice for LMGs, and you begin to see how the class is coming together now, because everything I choose makes it either better at what it does, which toughness does, or compensates for a weakness to make it a lot more versatile weapon. And I have to say, I am really, really pleased with how the LMGs are feeling post-patch, because I've always been a fan of them, but people don't often use them, and anything that makes people use a bigger variety of weapons is a good thing in my book, because what made previous Call of Duties tedious, and I'm thinking especially stuff like Black Ops here and Modern Warfare 2, is people would use the FAMAS all the time in Black Ops. I mean, you go into a ground war lobby and 13 out of the 18 people are using FAMAS, and that was just tedious. And then you go back to Modern Warfare 2 and the UMP45, everyone would use that, and everyone would use the ACR, and they'd use the ACR in Modern Warfare 3. But the great thing with Black Ops 2 is the patches that Treyarch are introducing are really helping to bring some of the weapons that you wouldn't normally consider using right back into the viable category, and that's a great thing. I love my games, and especially Call of Duties, to be balanced, and I want to be able to pick any weapon in the roster and do well with it. So guys, the commentary is slowly beginning to wind to an end here. I think the final score is something like 48-8 or something around there, which is a pretty sweet gameplay on a map like Overflow, which can be a little bit random, and it is a little bit campy at times, because, you know, B dom is so easily defended from so many different locations. If you don't get that initial B cap, you really are struggling. But that's what makes the LMGs so good on this map, and especially the LSAT. You can dominate long range, and if by tweaking the class setup as I have, you can make it a great medium range choice, and at the same time make it so that it's still usable at close range, because with a quick draw handle, and if you do choose to use the laser sight over the red dot, it's completely your choice. It makes it a good weapon at close range as well. So guys, thanks for watching the video. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and I really hope you go out and choose some of these different weapons that you haven't before, because the great thing with this patch is it's made so many weapons that perhaps are a little bit underpowered, and it's buffed them up to be very, very competitive. So guys, once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the gameplay, and as always, have a great day.